Vin Diesel has a difficult past and family history that has shaped the way he lives his life and makes him love everyone so much. But sadness struck him when Paul Walker, a close friend and co-star from Fast and Furious, died. Walker is still one of the most loved stars, even though he died. Diesel still talks about him positively and enjoys the time they spent together, and he wants to bring it up whenever the chance comes. There was no doubt that they kept some secrets from each other that they never told anyone else. Diesel's sadness made him a comfort and support for Meadow, Paul's daughter, who is Meadow Walker then. Why did Paul Walker leave her with Vin Diesel? Vin Diesel, who is now 56 years old, finally says what we all thought he would say. Join us as we go into more detail about this latest news. The world was shocked when Paul Walker, who played the lead in the Fast and the Furious movies, died in 2013. But one person was deeply moved by his death. Vin Diesel, who was his longtime friend and co-star and was like a brother to the late actor. Even after all these years, Vin has never forgotten to respect and remember his best friend, who is very important to him. Diesel wrote on Facebook a few days later, "Pablo, I wish you could see the world right now and the profound impact your whole life has had on us, on me." Pablo is Diesel's affectionate nickname for his co-star and the Spanish word for Paul. It doesn't matter what you did on TV, I will always love you as my brother. In an interview, Vin Diesel said that while some actors might not like being called by the parts they play, Paul Walker loved it. He loved it when people called him Brian. He thought it was the highest praise. In an interview, Vin Diesel talked about a trip he took with Paul. He was called Brian by one of the guys. He said, "That's my favorite thing," as we were driving away. "I love it when people call me Brian." He was so adamant about it that it always stuck with me. It meant a lot to him. Even now I still think about it, because the fact that he was so proud of the famous character he made says a lot. He made it, it was his character. And I guess that moment showed a simpler life. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel first met on screen in The Fast and the Furious, where Walker played Brian O'Connor and Diesel played Dominic Toretto, the leader of a gang. Not only do the two actors' movie roles become close, but they also became good friends outside of work that went beyond time and space. At the start of the series, they became real friends that lasted through the making of the movies from 2001 to 2013, and for almost 15 years. In fact, Diesel is the godfather of Meadow Walker, the daughter of a late friend. This shows that their amazing link goes beyond just being co-stars. It was our first thought when we started that we were making a movie about classic cars, and that would be it. Diesel remembered. He instead admitted that he wasn't sure if the plan was to make options 7, 8, 9 or 10. As they talked about this some more, they remembered a promise they had made to each other. They would take this brand and end it at Fast 10. Walker wrote on Twitter on November 30th, 2013, to let his fans know that the sixth movie in the popular series would be out soon. After a few hours though, Walker sadly died in a car accident. Walker did a lot of good things for other people, and that day he went to a charity event. For fast cars, Walker had the same love as the role he had played. In fact, Walker and his friend Roger Rodas held the event at the high-performance car shop they owned that very day. When they left the event, Walker was in the passenger seat and Rodas was driving. Suddenly, the driver lost control of the car just a few hundred yards away. People at the event tried to help right away, but they couldn't. Walker's friends could not do anything as the news of the tragedy spread quickly. Fans all over the world were shocked when Walker died within hours. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were good friends. And Diesel was very sad when Walker died. He was broken up for good after losing his best friend. The actor, on the other hand, has always talked about Walker and their special connection to honor his memory. In fact, he would often cry in front of the camera during some conversations. As soon as he heard the news, he flew to California because he was worried about his goddaughter Meadow Walker. "I figured out that I needed their strength when I broke down in front of his family. I thought they needed mine." Diesel remembered the sad time he saw Walker's mom, Cheryl. "I'm so sorry," his mother told me as she hugged me. "I told her I was sorry." "You lost a son," she replied. "Yes, but you lost your partner." Vin Diesel had a hard time accepting that his trusted friend had suddenly disappeared, and they would no longer depend on or watch out for each other. Walker provided a lot of support for him, especially when he helped Diesel get back together with his mother. Diesel hadn't even had time to mourn the death of his friend because Fast and Furious 7 was still being made. Because Walker had died, Diesel had to act like his friend was there with him while the movie was being shot. "I've been acting all my life, and they don't teach you how to mourn someone while also acting like they're in the scene with you," he said. In October 2015, Diesel praised Universal on the Jonathan Ross show, saying that the studio was great. In line with the producer's desire to change the ending to give Walker a proper send-off, Brian O'Connor, Dom's partner in crime and brother-in-law, is seen driving off into the sunset with Mia Brewster and their son Jack. Cody and Caleb Walker, who are also very sun-kissed, filled in as Walker's body doubles for the rest of the scenes. And Diesel felt better having them on set. In 2015, Diesel told Extra that the family's support for what they were doing was the most important thing. He said that seeing them there, wanting to protect the memory of someone they care so much about, gave them strength. And they were so kind, persistent, and willing to do anything to help us finish this legacy and finish the job we had planned. That was the most important thing we've ever done. Late that year, Diesel told Jonathan Ross, "People will tell me to just move on every time I post a picture of Pablo on Facebook or talk about him." While making the movies was fun, the relationships in that series are so strong and the brotherhood so real that it goes beyond that. That's how it feels to go from being nobody to someone with a brother for 15 years, and then all of a sudden he's gone. The bond between Walker and Diesel can't be broken. Even though Walker has died, Diesel has stayed close to his family, making them feel like their late father was still with them. Also, Diesel honored his friend who had died by giving his second daughter the name Pauline. Families Diesel and Walker get together a lot, and the special bond between their girls shows that friendship can work no matter what. Diesel most of all stayed close to Meadow, his goddaughter, who he said takes care of him. Diesel said, "She's the first person on Father's Day to wish me a happy one. One of the most beautiful things is seeing her with my kids. Sometimes I feel so sad when I see her playing with Pauline because I can't help but think about what my brother sees." One of the most important things Diesel did to honor his friend who had died was to walk his daughter Meadow down the aisle. The actor's act touched everyone because it showed how much he loved Walker and did something the actor's late father would have had to do if he were still alive. Life's good things always come after bad things. Diesel wrote on Instagram, "Pablo, look at this picture. You'll smile about it. This is the same angel that Precious Meadow asked to be her maid of honor. You helped me get ready for it in the most beautiful way with your brotherly advice." Diesel has said that he would rather keep his personal life private. He said, "I'm not going to put it on a magazine cover like some other actors. The Harrison Ford, Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Code of Silence movies are where I come from." Diesel's deep voice makes him stand out. He said that his voice broke when he was 15 years old. This gave him a voice that sounds more adult on the phone, which he often uses for acting. Diesel has liked Dungeons & Dragons for a long time and wrote the introduction to 30 Years of Adventure, a book that celebrated the game in 2004. He's also talked about how much he loves the Dominican Republic and how he connects with its many cultures. He knows Leonel Fernandez, the country's past president, and was in one of Fernandez's earlier campaign ads. Later, in 2009, he got the movies Los Banderleros and Fast and Furious to be made in the country. Diesel went out with Michelle Rodriguez, who was in Fast and Furious, around 2001. He has been seeing Mexican beauty Paloma Jimenez since 2007. They have 3 kids, a son born in 2010 and 2 girls born in April 2008 and March 2015. Diesel's first song as a musician, Feel Like I Do, was released in September 2020. The song was written by Kygo. He played the song for the first time on The Kelly Clarkson Show on September 24th. Vin Diesel is thought to be worth about $225 million. He is mostly wealthy because of how well he has done in the movie business, especially for his parts in the Fast and Furious movies, which have become one of the world's most popular movie series. Diesel has also worked as a producer, which has added to his pay in addition to acting. Diesel also makes money from his parts in other popular movies, his voice work, especially as Groot in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and his work in different businesses. He has also used his fame to get advertising deals and partnerships that pay well. If Meadow Walker wanted to follow in her late father's ways and become an actor, it might seem natural for her to do so, but she has decided to become a model instead. But she and her father both have one thing in common. Both are generous people. Through the Paul Walker Foundation, she has made it her mission to carry on her father's work. Many things were important to Meadow Walker and her late father, star Paul Walker. Meadow was born in Los Angeles on November 4, 1998, to the famous actor from the Fast and Furious movies and his lover at the time, Rebecca Soteros. She spent her childhood in Hawaii and only visited her father every once in a while. When she finally got back to Los Angeles, her parents split custody of her for a while until she moved in with her dad. He was killed in a car accident on November 30, 2013, less than a year after moving in. I felt hopeless for many years because of what was going on with my daughter. She lives in Hawaii, and I'm running here while she's there. She's the best partner I've ever had. My daughter now lives with me full-time. Paul told Entertainment Weekly that a few months before he died, Meadow has done very well as a model since her father died, and she continues to honor his memory by doing good things for other people. Additionally, she has stayed close with his Fast and Furious co-stars, and is now even a part of the series. Meadow began her career as a model in 2017 with DNA Models, which is written in her Instagram bio. It is she who walks the runway for Parenza Schuler and Alexander McQueen. And it is also Givenchy Beauty that chose her to be their face. Meadow shared a picture of herself in an ad above a cosmetics counter at a department store in March 2023 to mark an important moment in her work with Givenchy. After losing her father, Meadow went to court in September 2015 against the makers of the Porsche Carrera GT that her father's friend Roger Rodas was driving when the accident happened that killed him. The lawsuit said that the car didn't have important safety measures that could have stopped the accident, or at least saved Paul Walker's life. Meadow and Porsche came to an agreement in 2017. She also got a payment of $10.1 million from Roger Rodas's estate. This money was put into her trust. Meadow Walker announced the creation of the Paul Walker Foundation in September 2015, which was her dad's 42nd birthday. The group's goal is to encourage random acts of kindness that give young people power and protect the world they live in. The organization also carries on his work to protect the ocean. When I thought about my dad, I thought about the things he loved. Meadow shared on Instagram a picture of herself and Paul that made her feel emotional. This foundation was born out of a desire to share that part of him with everyone. I want other people to know that about him. Meadow has done a lot of good things for others through the organization. In June 2022, she created the PWF Do Good Scholarship to help a student who is dedicated to meeting the immediate needs of their society or the environment. Meadow married her angel, Louis Thornton Allen, in a secret ceremony on the beach in the Dominican Republic in October 2021. They had been together for a short time but were very in love. The bride wore a custom Givenchy haute couture dress to the wedding. Vin Diesel, who played her father's close friend in Fast and Furious, walked her down the aisle. Another person who helped with the wedding was Hania Riley Sinclair, Diesel's daughter. Each year, Meadow honors her late father on Instagram with a touching post that marks both his birthday and the day he died. In 2021, she shared a picture from her childhood that made her feel nostalgic. It was of her as a baby hanging on to an actor who kissed her on the cheek. "I miss and love you so much." She wrote in the caption, "Today and every day I celebrate your life, your love, and you, my best friend." Meadow wrote a touching dedication to her father on Instagram in September 2023, on the day that he would have turned 50. She posted an adorable old picture of herself and Walker, wishing my protection angel a happy birthday. It said, "Thank you for your love, support, friendship, sunshine, and teaching me to see the beauty in everything. Every day I miss you and love you." In 2023, 10 years after her father's death, Meadow showed a movie of Walker that no one had seen before. "After 10 years without you, I will always love you." She wrote a moving caption for the Instagram video of Meadow surprising her dad on his birthday. As promised, Meadow was in the last movie in her dad's popular Fast and Furious series. Fast X first aired on May 19, 2023. Before that, she gave a hint about her part in the movie on Instagram. In the caption, she said nice things about Walker and the famous movie series. "I was 1 year old when the first Fast movie came out." Meadow wrote, I watched my dad Vin Jordana, Michelle Chris and more on the monitors when I was a kid on set. My dad made sure that I was born into a busy family,